My name is Hayley, and we'll be together for about an hour for an all levels yoga class. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. Um, but let's slowly get ourselves started. I'm just going to introduce you to my new friend. I broke my wrist over the holidays. Patricia, you'll be well aware of that pain. So I will be modifying a lot of what I do. Um, Pay more attention to my language and what I say, and less attention to physically what I'm doing. There are going to be modifications that I take, and you know your own practice. So if there are moments where you would like to get into a plank pose or something where you're putting pressure on your wrist, you can feel free to do that. Modify and adjust the practice to challenge yourself and to support yourself, as I will modify and adjust my practice to support my body's needs right now in healing this wrist. So I'll be in a cast for about 6 weeks, and then we'll see after that if I can put some pressure on it. Um, but do not fear, no matter what challenges you are having in your body right now. We are all having problems some way or another. There is always a way to practice yoga, because it's not just about the physical body. There's a lot more going on in this practice, and hopefully we can explore that together here in 2021. So let's get ourselves started. So if you are practicing on a mat, go ahead and roll out your mat. If not, you can roll out a towel or a blanket. Have things around you to support your practice. So whether that's pillows, rolled up towels are great. Blocks to bring the floor closer to you are wonderful. Straps to extend the length of your arms are wonderful. If you're challenged by getting up and down, which is a very normal challenge, don't beat yourself up for that. Have a chair nearby you to support you in coming up and down from the floor. And we'll get ourselves started. Now, for your practice, because you have your microphones off and your cameras muted, you can feel free to set the scene for yourself. You can dim the lights, you can put on some calming music, light a candle, whatever it is you need. And let's get started by taking a nice, comfortable seated position. So as you see, I've placed a rolled up towel or blanket behind me to sit up on. So I'm sitting up nice and tall. You can place a pillow or a towel. You could also choose to roll up the back of your yoga mat and face the front of your mat. And you can come to a comfortable seated position. So either cross-legged, one shin on top of the other, one shin in front of the other, or you can always take your legs a little bit further forward and offer your body the space that it may require. And let's just take a moment to lift and lengthen through our spine. Allow those shoulders, which are so often curled up towards our ears, to just settle. And we'll soften through the muscles of the face, allowing our eyes to close. And a moment before we really begin moving here, to just ground ourselves. There's often a lot of hustle and bustle in the holiday season, and then getting back to work. Just take a moment here to just let ourselves settle here and now. Settling into your body, settling into your breath. And notice how you feel. You may notice there's a lot of messaging out in the world right now for New Year's resolutions, or reasons that we have to better ourselves or change ourselves. And I'd love for you here in this moment to just set that all aside. You don't have to change anything about yourself here. Take a moment to recognize that what is here is enough. And you are perfect just as you are. Reminding yourself as we move today to take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your heart. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And allow your eyes to open and taking a nice soft focus for your eyes. And from here, nice and slowly, allow your right ear to fall towards your right shoulder. Just allow the head to fall heavy without forcing or pushing it down. Nice, long, extended exhales. And really slowly start to tip your chin down as if you're looking down towards the ground. And notice if you feel the sensation change. And nice and slowly come back up through center. Notice how that feels. And slowly drop your left ear towards your left shoulder, allowing the head to fall nice and heavy, just exhaling the shoulders down, breathing deeply. And really nice and slowly start to tilt your chin down towards the ground as if you're looking down, and just feel the sensation slightly change. Nice and slowly come back up through center and drop your chin towards your chest here. Nice and slowly allow your head to roll from one shoulder to the other. Take your time. You may have moved a lot during your holidays or not very much. Just getting into these tiny little muscles can be a nice little reminder that we can explore all parts of our bodies and just take care of the whole body. Good. And then nice and slowly, let's bring our head back up through center, lifting the shoulders up, releasing the shoulders back down, forward and up. Again, lifting up, releasing back down, forward and up. Just a few more rolls there of your shoulders, taking your time. And then we'll slowly activate our breath into this. So we'll let that settle. Take a nice inhale through your nose, lift the shoulders up towards your ears. As you exhale, release the shoulders down, exhale through your mouth. Let's take that again. Inhale, lifting the shoulders up. Exhale, releasing. One more time, lifting up. And exhale, release. Beautiful. From here, take your right fingertips towards your right side, lifting your left arm up and over. Take a gentle slide bend towards that right side. Being careful not to collapse towards the right side. We want to let our front body really open up here as we find lots of length. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Soften the jaw. And then as you come back through center, take the other side. Left fingertips towards the left side. Right arm lifts up and over. Move to the degree that's available today, continuing to allow there to be an opening in your chest. Soften your top shoulder. And come through center. Let's take a gentle twist. So right fingertips behind you. Left hand comes to that right leg. Gently lift up. And find a spinal rotation, rotating towards that back shoulder. So I'm putting no pressure on my left wrist because I can't. I'm really focusing on lifting up and letting that twist happen organically. So we can do the same thing whether we have a wrist injury or not. Really focusing on that twist coming more organically from the core instead of forcing it. Let's come back through center and take the other side. So left fingertips behind you, right hand comes to that left leg. Inhale, lift up. Allow that rotation towards that left shoulder. So if I really push into my right hand here, sort of forcing that rotation. I'd love us instead to let that right hand be nice and soft, really focus on lifting up, and the body will rotate to the degree that's available. That's where we want to be. Let's slowly come through center and take a gentle forward fold. So you may want to adjust your legs to gently come forward. Slowly creeping the arms forward. Stop where you'd like to stop. If you notice you've gone through a little too far, come on back up. No expectations here. Just slowly breathing into your body. Lengthen your tailbone. Again, feel free to widen your legs if you want more space for your body. Good, and then nice and slowly, let's bring ourselves up through center, and we'll release whatever it was you were seated on here, and bring ourselves onto our hands and our knees just for a moment, taking your knees as wide or as narrow as you like, send your hips back towards your heels, and come forward into a child's pose. So you could reach your arms forward for an extended child's pose, or you could always release the arms behind you, or let your forehead rest on the backs of your hands, or you could double up your fists or forearms, or place a pillow or towel underneath your forehead. If the fronts of the knees are sensitive, double up your mat for extra padding. If the backs of the knees are sensitive, place a pillow or towel behind your knees for support. Or you can always come back up into a seated position if child's pose is not available for you today. We'll just take a nice deep breath here as we bring our attention inward, really curling into the body, just as a reminder to take care of this body, to rest whenever you'd like. At any point during our practice today, just coming into a resting pose that's supportive for you. Good, and then we'll slowly start to bring ourselves up, and we'll come forward onto our belly. So come down with care onto your belly. I'm going to use my forearms for support and take one leg and then the other. Come on down to your belly and just take a moment. Moving into some back bends here. So take your time. You may want to move up into upward facing dog. I will not today. I'll be moving through locust pose. So if you'd like, reach your arms back behind you. Reach through your fingertips. Take an inhale, lift your chest, broadening through the chest, opening up the front body, lengthen the back of your neck. And from there, if you'd like, perhaps begin to lift your legs up. Locust pose is a beautiful pose for strengthening the back of our bodies, which we are often ignoring in a yoga practice. So it's a really valuable pose to take. And you're getting that back bend and that heart opener. Good. And then we'll slowly begin to release. Let your forehead rest on the backs of the hands. Take a moment. And we'll move through two more locust pose. So reaching your arms back, lift the chest, maybe lift the legs, opening up. Perhaps explore squeezing the legs a little bit closer together. And then slowly lowering back down. Take a moment. Notice how that feels. Your spine might feel a little bit sticky. It's a lot of work. So just taking your time. Let's come back one more time. Arms reach back. Chest lifts. Legs lift. Open up. And then we'll slowly lower back down. From there, come on back up. Push up through to your hands and your knees. And breathe your hips back towards your heels into a child's pose. Just take a moment to let your spine settle. And if child's pose is not feeling good for your body today, come up to hands and knees and move into some cats and cows, rounding and lifting. Another breath here. And then nice and slowly, let's come back up, rooting your palms down, tuck your toes, lift up and back into a downward facing dog. Now taking some time to set up your downward facing dog. Feet can be as wide as your hips or perhaps even a little bit wider if you'd like. Take a few moments to pedal out your feet, bend into one knee and the other, lengthening your spine here. Your heels may be lifted, that's fine. Your knees may be bent, that's fine. Focus more on lengthening your spine. And if it's too much pressure on your wrists, you see I'm on one hand here, I'll probably modify as I move through my practice, lowering my knees down, reaching my arms forward, taking a puppy pose instead. Still getting the benefit of the pose by lengthening the spine, taking the pressure out of the wrists, which, many times in our lives, this is really important. Taking another deep breath here. Good. And then nice and slowly, let's start to tiptoe or walk your feet forward to your hands. Bend your knees as much as you like to support yourself in coming forward. Allow your body to hang nice and heavy over your legs. Let your head go. Breathing deeply. And then take a deeper bend to your knees. Take your time. Begin at the base of your spine. Slowly start to roll yourself back up. Allow your head to come up last, and we'll continue with some roll down. So dropping the head, dropping the shoulders, rolling through your spine, releasing the body down, seeing if you can be really aware of the full length of your spine. And once you're down, just letting that head hang. No need to hold it up. And nice and slowly bend into the knees. Begin at the base of your spine. Start to roll yourself up. Really present with your spine. Noticing. And once you're up, one more time, rolling down. Breathing. Nice and slowly. Come on back up. Beautiful. Standing at the front of your mat, Tadasana, mountain pose. So you can keep your feet hip width apart or wider if you'd like. You could take the big toes touching, heels a sliver apart if that feels better for you. Finding that strong mountain pose here. Let's take a nice inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, lengthen through your spine. And then connecting through your palms, gently bow forward over your legs. Again, take as much of a bend into your knees as you like. From there, find your palms to your shins, lengthen your spine, reach your heart forward. Palms can come to the shins, or if you'd like, take your hands to your thighs, or you could also place your hands on a prop if the floor feels far away from you, a block or a chair, whatever's handy. And as you exhale, slowly fold forward. Take an inhale here, sweep the arms down, around and up, come to stand. And exhale, come back to your Tadasana. As you ground down through your feet, take a nice inhale, sweep the arms up, lengthen through your spine. Connecting through your palms, gently bow forward over your legs. Find your halfway lift. Palms come to the shins, the thighs, or a prop. Reach your heart forward. And as you exhale, slowly fold. Take an inhale here, sweep the arms up, come to stand. And exhale, come back through to your Tadasana. Now moving into chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend into your knees, send your weight back into your heels. Scoop the low belly up and in as you lengthen your tailbone. Open up the chest. Hands can stay at heart center or hands can come to your waist. Find a nice steady point to focus your gaze on. Breathe here. I can wiggle my toes. My weight is in my heels. Another breath. Ground down through your feet. Take a nice inhale. Sweep the arms up. Lengthen your legs. As you exhale, fold forward over your legs. Find your palms to your shins. Lengthen your spine. Halfway lift. And as you exhale, fold. Take an inhale here. Sweep the arms up. Come to stand. And exhale. Come back to your Tadasana. Again, into your Utkatasana. Bend into your knees. You can keep your hands at heart center, hands at waist, or if you like, reach your arms forward and up. Again, look down. Make sure you can see your toes in front of your knees. Your weight is in your heels. As you scoop your low belly in, you'll lengthen your tailbone, supporting the low back. Take a breath. Press into your feet. Nice inhale, lengthen everything up. As you exhale, fold forward over your legs. Finding your palms to your shins, reach your heart forward, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, fold. Take another inhale, sweep the arms up, come to stand. And exhale, come back through to your Tadasana. One more time into your Utkatasana, bend into the knees. Scoop the belly, find the arm variation that feels good for you. Hands can be at prayer, hands at waist, or reach those arms forward and up. Make sure you're nice and stable as you lengthen that tailbone. And then connecting through your palms, gently bow forward over your legs. Finding your palms to your shins, reach your heart forward, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, fold. Take an inhale here, sweep the arms up, come to stand. And exhale, come back to your Tadasana. Now from here, take your feet a little bit wider, heels in and toes out. I'm just going to turn to face you. You can stay where you are. Heels in, toes out, gentle bend into the knees. Make sure the knees are tracking over your toes. So look down and check in. You can always walk your toes in a little bit more narrow. You don't have to be as turned out. Depends on the availability of the hips. Take a moment here as you lengthen your spine, and you may want to stay right here or come down a little bit lower, and you may want to take your hands or your forearms to your thighs. You may feel like you want to stay there today. Or if there's some availability in your hips, you can lower those hips down into Malasana. Don't worry if the heels are lifted. You can roll up a towel or some of your mat and place that under your heels to allow those heels to feel supported, or you can allow them to lift. That's okay. Working towards the direction of grounding them. And if you'd like, if you feel more comfortable, you can place something under your bottom. So I've got a block here. You could use a block or a couple cushions or roll that towel if that feels a little bit more supportive. And we'll just take a moment there in your version of Malasana, whether you're down or a little bit further up, that's okay. Builds a lot of strength, allows us to open up our hips. Really, really valuable pose, especially in our modern day bodies, the way that we use our bodies. Take another breath here. Good. And then we'll fold forward into a forward fold. So turn your toes back forward, heels back. Allow your torso to hang down nice and heavy. Soften your jaw. And take a deeper bend to your knees. Slowly start to roll yourself up. Good. Now from here, I'm going to move into Surya Namaskar A. And my version of Surya Namaskar A is going to have Malasana in it. If you prefer, you can take your sun salutation, rooting your palms down, stepping your feet back to plank, lowering down to the belly, taking your back bend. So either a locust pose, a sphinx, or a cobra, pushing back up, and then moving into your downward facing dog. So I will call vinyasa. And whenever I call vinyasa, you can choose to take that, or you can stay with me working through Malasana. So standing at the front of your mat, take a nice inhale, sweep the arms up, lengthen. As you exhale, gently fold forward over your legs. Palms to your shins, lengthen your spine. You can move into your vinyasa here, or if you'd like, toes out, heels in, lower the hips, coming into your Malasana for a brief moment, and then lifting the hips up, toes face forward. Halfway lift, palms come to the shins, thighs, or a prop. As you exhale, fold. One more time, Malasana, heels in, toes out, lifting the heart. And come back into your forward fold. Halfway lift, palms come to the shins, the thighs, or a prop. As you exhale, fold. Take a nice inhale, sweep the arms up, come to stand. And exhale back to Tadasana. One more time, either choose to take a vinyasa or stick with me and Malasana. Nice inhale, sweep the arms up. Connecting through the palms, bow forward over your legs. Palms come to your shins, lengthen your spine. Choose to take a vinyasa here or toes out, heels in, lower the hips. Malasana just for a moment, opening up the chest. Lifting the hips up, toes forward, forward fold. Halfway lift, palms come to the shins, the thighs are a prop. As you exhale, fold. One more time, heels in, toes out, lower those hips. And then lifting the hips up, lengthening the legs, toes forward. Palms come to the shins, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up, come to stand. And exhale, Tadasana. So just the value of heating up the body there. And if you use those lower leg muscles, you'll really start to heat the body up. All right, let's begin. Take a nice inhale, sweep the arms up, lengthen through your spine. Connecting through your palms, gently bow forward over your legs. Palms come to the shins, lengthen your spine. Now from here, step your right leg back behind you and lower your right knee down to your mat. If you'd like a little extra padding underneath your knee, double up your mat or place a pillow or towel underneath your knee. If the floor feels far away, place your hands up on a prop. So whether it's a block, a couple stacks of pillows, anything that you happen to have handy to support you today. Reach your heart forward as you lengthen out of your waist here. And try not to just sink into the hips. Allow there to be a slight engagement so you feel as if you're gently squeezing the legs towards the center line of your body. Now from here, we'll start to send our hips back and lengthen that front leg. That front leg does not need to straighten, just working towards that direction. And if it's available, gently flex your front toes. Again, the knee can be bent, hands can be up, elevated on a prop if that floor feels far away, which is very normal. Just take a moment to lengthen the back of that leg and then come back into that low lunge. So sending yourself forward, reaching your heart forward. And we'll take that 2 more times. So sending your hips back, lengthening that front leg. Feeling the sensations, allowing yourself to stay present. And then coming back into that low lunge, reach your heart forward. And one more time, breathing your hips back, lengthen that front leg. Take a moment. And nice and slowly come back into your low lunge. Now you can choose to stay here, getting a lot of opening for that hip flexor. Or if you'd like, bring your hands up to your thigh. From there, if you'd like, you can lift your arms up overhead. Allow those shoulders to settle, lengthen out of your waist, engage the belly. And a gentle back bend here, just allow the palms to rotate towards the front and lift your heart open. A moment. And come back through center. Release your hands down to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and take your back foot forward to meet your front foot as you hang heavy over your legs. Take a moment there, and then we'll step our left leg back behind us, lowering your left knee down to the mat. Again, feel free to double up your mat for extra padding. Feel free to place your hands up on a prop to bring that floor closer to you. Take a moment to find that stability as you start to think of the inner thighs squeezing towards the center line of the body. So we're really, instead of opening or sinking as deep as we can here, which is fine, we're really thinking of building that strength. Take a moment. And then we'll start to send our hips back, finding that half Malasana. So lengthening that front leg as we send our hips back. Toes flex up towards the ceiling if it's available. Feeling that length without the pressure of having to have the knee straight or the nose towards the knee. Just breathing into what is already there. Let's take that forward again into your low lunge. Take a moment. And then again, hips move back, lengthen that front leg. See if you can just gently reach the center of your chest forward a bit. And then coming back into your low lunge. One more time. Let's start to send those hips back, lengthen that front leg. And then coming back into your low lunge. Take a moment there. And you can stay here. This is beautiful. Or take your hands up to your thigh. Or if you'd like, lift your arms up overhead. Find stability and then find that heart opener. So palms face forward and just gently think of lifting your heart up and forward. Just a tiny little lift. And then we'll come back through center. Release your hands to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and take your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Taking a moment to hang nice and heavy over your legs, let your head go. Finding your palms to your shins, lengthen your spine here. As you exhale, fold. Take a nice inhale, sweep the arms up, come to stand. And exhale, come back through to your Tadasana. Now sink back into your Utkatasana. Bend into your knees, engage your belly, hands at prayer, hands at waist or arms up overhead. Take a moment. Breathe, building lots of strength. And then connecting through your palms, gently bow forward over your legs. Finding your palms to your shins, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold and step your right leg back behind you. Now this time, stay up on the ball of your right foot. You can feel free to lower that right knee down at any point where we once were, if that feels better for you today. And again, hands can be up on a prop. Beautiful to use what's around you to support your body. As you reach your heart forward here, just take a moment to find that stability. Again, squeeze towards the center line of the body. Good. And just thinking of lifting your hips up, lengthening that front leg. Again, it doesn't have to straighten. Just moving into available space, feeling that length. Think of lifting your left hip up and back. And then again, gently bend into that left knee. Good. And we'll take that 2 more times. So lifting the hips up, lengthen that front leg. And bend. One more time, lifting up. And bend. Good. Now, just as we did previously, you can stay here. Those hands do not need to come up. The torso does not need to come up. But if you feel ready, bring your hands up to your thigh, or from there, lift your arms up overhead. Really active through that back leg. Feel that hip flexor opening up. And find that same heart opener. So palms face forward and gently think of lifting up and out of your waist. And then gently lift your heart forward. So we're not forcing a back bend here. We're just allowing an opening. Just breathing into that space, noticing how that feels. And then as you come through center, release your hands down to frame your front foot and step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Take a moment, hang forward over your legs. And then we'll step our left leg back behind us. Again, land on the ball of your foot. Feel free to lower that back knee down at any point if that feels better for you today. And feel free to have those hands up on an elevated surface. I'm going to use a block today. Reaching the heart forward. And then start to think of lifting your hips up, lengthening that front leg. It doesn't need to straighten. Breathing here. And then bend back into that front knee, reaching your heart forward. 2 more times, so lifting the hips up, lengthening that front leg. Think of sending your right hip back and back in space, so we're feeling the hips squaring off a wee bit. And then come back into your low lunge. 1 more time, lifting those hips up. And then come back into your low lunge. Feel free to stay there, or if you're ready, come up to the thigh. Perhaps lift your arms up overhead. Lifting out of your waist, engage your belly and stay active through that back leg. Find your heart opener, opening up the chest. Palms face forward. Just allow that to be a gesture of open. So don't worry about the depth of the back bend. You're just staying open to whatever is here. Good. As we come back through center, release your hands down to frame your front foot and step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Take a moment, hang nice and heavy over your legs. Let your head go. Find your halfway lift. Palms come to the shins, the thighs, or a prop, reaching your heart forward. As you exhale, fold. Now take an inhale, sweep the arms up to stand. And exhale, come back to your Tadasana. Utkatasana, bend into your knees, reaching your arms forward, or hands can stay at prayer or hands at waist. Find that strength, find that stability. Weight is in your heels. Find a nice steady point to focus your gaze on here. Connecting through your palms, gently bow forward over your legs. Let your head go. Palms come to the shins, lengthen your spine forward. As you exhale, fold, step your right leg back behind you and lower your right knee down to the mat. Organize yourself as you see fit, padding up the body where you need to, supporting yourself with any props you'd like. Take a breath. And then start to send your hips back as you lengthen that front leg. Again, it doesn't need to straighten. Take a breath. As you come back into that low lunge, come forward. Stay with your hands down. Come up to the thigh or lift the arms up and take that gentle heart opener. Palms forward, chest lifts up and gently forward. Come through center, release your hands down. Now keep that back knee down or tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. A moment here. And then gently lift the hips up and back, lengthening that front leg. Maybe even feeling that in the front of your foot. Beautiful. And then slowly bend back into that front knee. Stay there, or if you're ready, lift your torso up. And from there, find your heart opener, palms forward. Come through center, releasing your hands down. Step your back foot forward to meet your front foot and hang heavy over your legs. And then step your left leg back behind you, lowering that left knee down to your mat. Again, support yourself with whatever props you'd like to use today. Take a moment to feel stable there. And then starting to send your hips back, lengthening that front leg. Don't worry about the visual, feel the sensations. Breathe. Come back into your low lunge. Hands stay down, or if you're ready, lift your arms up overhead. Find that gentle heart opener. Beautiful, open to whatever arises. Come through center, release your hands down. Stay there or tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. And then we'll start to think of lifting the hips up and back, lengthening that front leg. Again, do not worry about the visual. Feel the sensations. What is supporting your body? Bend back into that front knee. Hands stay down, or if you're ready, lift your torso up and find that heart opener, gently opening up, spreading through the fingers. As you come back through center, release your hands down. Step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Hang nice and heavy over your legs as you let your head go. Take a deeper bend here and you slowly start to roll yourself up, allowing your head to come up last. Feel your feet. Soften your shoulders. Notice your breath. Find a nice steady point to focus your gaze on. Stay where you are. I'm just going to turn to you. Feel your feet. Not just visualizing the feet, but from the inside out, feeling the feet. The felt experience of your feet holding you here. And steady your gaze. And as you steady your breath, allow yourself to stay nice and steady in the body. Slowly start to shift your weight into your left foot. Lighten up on your right foot. And you can allow your right foot to touch down at any time. It doesn't have to stay. If you'd like from there, rotate your right hip open, kickstanding into a variation of tree pose. And you can stay right there, or you can take your foot up to your calf, or you can take your foot up to your thigh, wherever you'd like to be today. You could be holding onto a wall or a chair for support. Hands can come to prayer if you'd like, or perhaps you'd lift your arms up overhead. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to come in and out of the pose without beating yourself up, without expectations. Allow yourself to stay present with whatever arises, open to it. And then nice and slowly start to release, grounding your right foot down. Take a moment. Tune back into that felt experience of your feet. Not just visualizing the feet, but from the inside out, feeling the feet. Slowly start to shift your weight into your right foot and lighten up on your left foot. Just experimenting with that, letting it touch down at any point. And if you'd like from there, explore your tree pose, either kickstanding, coming on up to the calf, or if you'd like, come on up to the thigh. Any arm variation you'd like to take, feel free to hold on to something. Give yourself permission to change, to adjust, to tumble, to laugh. Whatever happens, whatever arises, allowing it. And nice and slowly, let's release ourselves back down, allowing yourself to feel back into your feet, holding you up. Nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Allow the eyes to softly open if they were closed. Heels in, toes out, Malasana, as wide of a stance as you'd like. I tend to be a little bit more narrow. Lifting up and out of your waist, bend into your knees. Stay upright, or hands or forearms to your thighs, or lower those hips down. Allowing your hips to rotate open as you lift your heart forward and up. Nice deep breath here. Soften the jaw. Good. Now we're slowly going to come down to a seated position. So if you found yourself up a little bit higher, come on down in the easiest way possible. If you were in Malasana, just lower your bottom down and scoot yourself back a wee bit so you have some space. Taking your feet forward in front of you. Find a nice C curve for your spine. So scoop the low belly up and in. So there's a feeling like a C. And then palms can come beside your hips. Keep your chest nice and broad and open and gently tilt back, only to the degree that's available today. And you can keep your feet down here or experiment by lifting one foot and then the other. Continue with that or lift both feet up. Navasana, boat pose, lots of strength here. If you'd like, you can extend the legs forward. Keep the chest nice and broad. And you can keep your palms beside you or hold on to the backs of your thighs. Or if you'd like, reach your arms forward. Legs long, arms long, or bent. Breathing deeply. For 1, for 2, for 3. Release, cross at the shins and give yourself a little lift, a little shake out. Maybe you want to rock a little bit. If the hip flexors were feeling it, you can even give them a nice little massage. And we'll take that 2 more times. So legs forward, palms beside you. Lift up and find that C curve for your spine. So really pulling the low belly up and in, but keep the chest nice and broad and open. So as we find that scooping, it's often tempting to scoop through the upper back as well. Allow that to stay nice and long and focus on scooping and rounding through the low belly. Hands come to your side. You can experiment by lifting one foot and then the other, or lift both feet up. Find a steady point to focus your gaze on. There's balance here as well. If you'd like, extend your legs. If you'd like, hands can stay down or hold on to the backs of your thighs or reach your arms forward, keeping your chest nice and open. Breathing for 1, 2, 3, and lower. Give yourself a little bit of movement to shake that out. And yes, one more time. So legs come forward. Set yourself up, palms beside you, lifting up. Whoop, find that C curve. Gentle tilt back. Either lift one foot and the other, or experiment with lifting both feet. Hands can stay beside you, or hold on to the backs of the thighs, or reach those arms forward. And if you'd like, you can extend the legs. I like to pull the toes towards me as I press through the balls of my feet. So I'm pointing the feet, but the toes themselves are flexed, moving towards me as if I'm pushing through the balls of the feet. They're like Barbie doll toes. Breathing here for 1, for 2, 3. Let it go. Give yourself a little shake out. And let's stretch out those hip flexors by coming down to our back into a bridge pose. So come on down in the easiest way possible, hugging your knees into your chest. My favorite to do after any boat pose is bridge pose, because you do get that nice length in your hip flexors. So it feels really nice and juicy. So once you're down, let's take our feet down and set up for your bridge pose. You can reach forward and just barely graze the backs of your heels with your fingertips. If you feel any sensation in the front of the knee, you want to adjust your stance. So you can always walk the feet a little bit further forward. You can always walk the feet a little bit wider, and you can experiment with where you place the feet and the legs there to support your body. From here, palms beside you. Tilt your hip points towards the ribs. So it's that same action that we took in Navasana here to begin our bridge pose. So we begin by tucking, tilting the hip points towards the ribs, rolling through the spine, and lifting those hips up. You can keep your palms beside you. You can reach your arms up towards the ceiling, arms up overhead if you'd like. You can glue your elbows down, which is what I'll take today. Or you could also interlace your fingers or hook your thumbs behind your back as you lift up. Feeling that length in your hip flexors. Actively engage your glutes and your hamstrings. So let that be a really nice, strong pose. Still breathing, space between your chin and your chest, so we're not forcing ourselves up as high as we can. We want to find that balance between strength and ease. And then nice and slowly roll through your spine, release the hips down. Take a moment, you may want to rock a little from side to side, that's okay. Breathe deeply. We'll take 2 more bridge poses. If you practice wheel and you'd like to take a wheel on any of our bridge poses, go right ahead. Take that on your own, but make sure you already have a really established practice with wheel pose so we don't injure ourselves. Let's tilt our hip points towards the ribs, roll through the spine, lifting those hips up, finding the length in the hip flexors, but really letting it be a really active pose by engaging those glutes. Keeping your hips level, find the arm variation that works best for you today. Keep that space between your chin and your chest. Find the balance between strength and ease. Continuing to breathe. And nice and slowly roll back down. Take a moment. Breathe. And one more time. Tilt your hip points towards the ribs. Roll through your spine, lifting up. Pressing down through your feet. Soften your jaw. And nice and slowly Roll back down. Now, once you're down, take your soles of your feet together, knees open to the side, Supta Baddha Konasana. You can let your hands rest beside you, or one hand on heart, one hand on belly, or both hands on belly. Just take a moment to let the spine neutralize before we do too much to neutralize it. Just let that happen a little bit more naturally. Good. And then we'll slowly hug your knees into your chest. Give your knees a good little squeeze and a few little gentle rocks from side to side. Good. Just work into a little bit of mobility here. This is actually work that my mom is doing right now for some sciatica pain. So if you have sciatica pain, it's really, really good to take your bridge poses and some of these mobility movements that we'll take right now. So I'm going to glue my feet down, knees up towards the ceiling, pull my right knee into the chest, hold on to the back of the right leg, and just start to extend and bend. Extend and bend. Building that strength around your knee, feeling the length, but also the strength in the muscles in the back of the leg, the hamstring, the glutes. Bending and extending. And then we're going to extend at the top, lengthen the leg. The knee does not need to be straight. You can have a bend. As long as you feel that sensation, that's enough. And let's point and flex the foot. Point and flex the foot. Activating the shin. Good. And then draw a few circles with your foot, rolling around. Good. Now keeping that leg extended. Hands can come beside you for support or elbows down. We're slowly going to lower that right leg and lift. It doesn't need to be straight. You don't have to lower all the way, just to the degree that's available. And lift, lower, and lift. Let's take that 2 more times. Lower and lift. 1 more time. Lower and lift. Good. Bending into the knee. We'll take the other side. So hold on to the back of your left leg and just start to extend and bend. So really nice active release. Often we see long holds in our stretches, which are lovely and valuable and beautiful, but I love an active release, especially for our glutes and our hamstrings. So we're moving the muscles as we're stretching them. Encouraging strength and flexibility at the same time will allow our muscles to be a little bit more supple and a little bit more supported. Good. Let's extend that leg again, keeping it up. The knee does not need to be straight. You can have a bent knee and just play with pointing and flexing the foot. If we haven't been doing a lot of movement in our feet recently, if we've been in shoes, you may be feeling it quite a bit in the front of your foot. That's okay. Start to draw a few circles. Just rolling around. Good. And then we'll release that. Now again, release the hold on your leg. And we're going to lower and lift the leg. Good. Lower and lift. Building lots of strength here, and you can feel the core muscles engaging here, just to support lowering and lifting the leg. Whole body movement. Good. Let's take 2 more. Lower and lift, and lower and lift. Good. Bending your knees. Let's take a moment. Hug your knees into your chest. Maybe take a few little rocks. Good. And then let's release our left foot down. Keep hugging your right knee into your chest. Take your right ankle on your left thigh and rotate your right hip open. And you can stay right here, allowing that hip to rotate open, or if it's available, you can hold on to the back of that left thigh or your shin and gently bring the leg in towards the body. Keeping those shoulders grounded down here, making sure we're still breathing, flexing that right foot. Actively rotating your right hip open. And nice and slowly, let's lower down. Take the other side, root your right foot down, bend your left knee, left ankle on the right thigh, and actively rotate that left hip open. Keeping that left leg nice and strong and stable. You can stay right there or hold on to the back of your right thigh or your shin as you pull the legs in towards the body. What I'll often do sometimes is I'll just grab that ankle and gently pull the leg in towards the body. If I'm not feeling that reach is happening for me, depending on where I am. So we can always do that. And if that hip is really open, you may be able to just give yourself a little bit more momentum. So depending on what you need today. Soften the shoulders. Good. And then let's slowly release. Hug both knees into the chest. Now this time let's extend both legs up towards the ceiling, nice and long. Not necessarily straight, but feel the length. Press through the balls of your feet. You can be holding onto the backs of your thighs if you like. Soften your jaw. Breathe deeply into your body. Let that spine settle. And gently bend your knees. Take your arms into a nice wide T position. Shift your hips over to the left as the knees drop to the right. Allow both shoulders to fall nice and heavy down on the mat as you take a spinal twist. You can keep your knees stacked or cross your top knee over your bottom knee. You can also place a pillow or towel underneath your knees. Just let that spine gently rotate without forcing or pushing it. Easing your way back through center. Let's shift to the other side. So hips shift to the right, knees to the left. Both shoulders fall heavy on the floor. Knees can stay stacked or cross your top knee over your bottom knee or place a pillow or towel underneath your knees. Softening your jaw. Breathe down the length of your spine, really present with the sensations. Come on back up through to center and let's prepare for our final posture, Shavasana. So if there are any socks or sweaters you'd like to put on, go ahead. Any sips of water or final movements you would like to take, feel free. And then find the most comfortable position for your body to rest in today. Perhaps a corpse pose, legs extended, arms extended, eyes closed. Or Supta Baddha Konasana, you can take the soles of your feet together, knees open to the side. Or constructive rest, taking the soles of the feet to the outside of your yoga mat and allowing the knees to fall in at center. Or feel free to lie on your side or your belly or supported in a chair or a couch. And just take a moment to allow the whole body to settle there. If you're comfortable, you can allow your eyes to softly close. We'll just guide us through a moment of breath work. Experimenting, just noticing your breath at first. Feeling the breath coming in, moving through your body and out. And beginning by breathing in through the nose for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go. Nice deep breath in and out. Settle into your body, settle into your breath. Relaxing your toes and your feet, your legs and your hips, your belly and your chest, your shoulders and your arms, your hands and your fingers. Releasing some tension in your neck, your jaw, the space between your eyebrows, your forehead, and rest. And slowly begin to bring a greater awareness to your body and the space around you. Perhaps invite your breath to deepen, or invite a little bit of movement back to your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers, your toes, perhaps take a nice stretch. And from there, in the easiest way possible, gently bring yourself up to a nice comfortable seated position. And we will end our practice together today. So let's sit up really nice and tall, lengthen the spine, fill the belly with breath. Bringing your hands to heart center, a moment or on your body, a moment of appreciation for your body. Thanking yourself for taking the time to practice today. And I thank you for sharing your practice with me. Stay well. Well, thank you, my friends. It's so great to be back with you this year. And I hope you enjoyed your practice. I'm so glad to be with you. And well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Hi.